Right, so the agenda for today, I'm going to take you through a bit of a market overview, give you some kind of facts and figures and a bit of context around the explosion and growth of internet television. I'm also going to take you through some top-line findings that we did at TVN recently, trying to find out a little bit more about our viewers and who they are. And then I'm going to hand over to Sandra, who's going to talk to you about best practices and how the kind of top 7 guidelines to buy video online. And then we're going to finish on some innovations, some cool executions that we've seen over the last 12 months. So, the market. There's no denying that video has exploded over the last 12 months. We've actually seen 600% growth in viewership over the last 3 years, and we're now seeing 50% of Australians watching internet TV. That's 11 million people, so that's massive. It's actually 30% bigger than paid television's penetration in the Australian market. So it's really, really big and a really, really growing format. If you break that down in terms of numbers, that's about 1 billion videos every single month people are streaming or downloading to watch, and on average per person it's about 95 videos and about 9 to 10 hours of video being consumed every single month. So when I say video online, it's a combination of catch-up TV, short form kind of simple snackable content, right through to your movie-length content. So it's kind of a real range of content. So what's growing? What's kind of driving this growth? If you think about kind of high data caps, access to internet, and the national broadband network kind of rolling out, they're all kind of key factors into people accessing internet TV. I also say that technology is a big driver as well, so being able to access video across multiple devices is also really growing, being able to access video online, which is contributing to that really big figure. And then finally, it's the range of content. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but Australia's got the highest rate of piracy in the world per capita. So, highly illegal, but it's also kind of highlights the real hunger from Australians for really good content. So quite often users are kind of going online to download content from the States or from the UK, and also watching catch up as well. So what does this mean? It means the future of TV is now. You've got TVN, kind of one of the video players of many kind of popping up. Really starting to play in that TV space. So we have 8.3 million people a month on our network. That's huge. There's 7.8 million on 10 and 7.3 on Foxtel. So this kind of TV landscape, the broadcast landscape, is really changing. Recently we did a research study at TVN to understand a bit more about people's consumption habits and viewership habits, also putting it into context with traditional television. This is a really, really big insight for me. So 55% of people on our network, so that's 4.5 million people on our network, say that they have 2 or more children in the home. So if you asked me how many people I thought on our network had kids, at the beginning of the study I'd probably guess about 10%. There's a real misconception that video is kind of for Gen Ys and the cool kids watching YouTube videos, but actually it's the mainstream everyday Australians watching internet television. It's your mums, it's your dads, it's those with families, and they're watching long form content and they're watching it every day. A staggering 69% of people on our network say they watch less than 2 hours of TV a day. So this really paints a picture for me of who the kind of people we reach are. This isn't a TVN thing, this is an internet television thing, this is an industry thing. So who's watching? It's people who don't watch a lot of TV. So I'm not sure if you guys, another interesting fact for you, but the average age of a free-to-air viewer is 50. So if you're a TV advertiser and you're trying to get 1639, which are a core demographic, you're absolutely wasting your time with broadcast television if you're looking at kind of free-to-airs. You need to be kind of moving more towards multiple devices and internet-connected televisions. So 69%, that's almost about 6 million people on our network. So Roy Morgan classifies light TV viewers as the industry standard, and if you watch us in 2 hours a day, you're considered a light TV viewer. About 12 months ago, in Roy Morgan, the figure stood at 49%. So just 1 year, there's been a 20% increase in the amount of people who are watching less than 2 hours of television a day. And that's no surprise, it's people like you and me in the room, it's people who are busy. You want it because it's convenient. You're not going to run home from the pub to watch us at houses anymore. It's not about appointment TV television, it's about catching up whenever you want, on demand, anytime you want. And that's a really, really key thing in terms of understanding who this emerging internet TV audience is. Understanding the motivations as to why people watch, I think is really important. So 65% of our viewers say they watch because it's convenient. And again, it kind of is no surprise really when you start kind of having that picture in your head of who's watching. It's about people, watching it on your terms, watching content when you want, as opposed to that appointment to view. Interestingly, why is it falling out? Interestingly, 30% say it's because there are less ads. So if you look at the kind of the main driving factors, a lot of people say, oh, because less ads, why people watch internet TV. It's actually not the main driving reason to watch it. The main driving reason is because it's convenient. However, if you look at a typical hour of television, anywhere between 25 and 30% of that typical hour is spent watching ads. So every 8 minutes is an ad break, and every ad break is about 10 ads. So it's really hard for an advertiser to get cut through with all that clutter. It's also really annoying for a viewer. It's kind of quite a saturated marketplace. If you look at internet television, only 1.2% of time is spent watching ads. So really kind of very kind of pleasant user experience from a viewer point of view, and a great opportunity for advertisers to cut through that clutter in a service ad break. And I guess I get asked this quite a lot. Kind of, where is the future of broadcast? Where is it all heading? What is it going to look like in 5, 10, 20 years' time? And I think in one slide, this pretty much for me captures where broadcast is heading. So we asked our viewers, outside of PC, how else do they how would they prefer to watch their video content? 50% said through an internet-connected television, 42% said through a smartphone, and 25% said through a tablet device. So we know that there's not 50% penetration of smart TVs in the market. We know that, but we know the intention is definitely there. So 2013 we'll see analog switch off, and we know that half of our viewers want to watch on internet-connected televisions. So long gone are the days, 25 years ago, when there was just 5 free-to-air channels and families together on the television at night time watching the big kind of focus point in the front room. Television is everywhere. So it's on connected television, it's on smartphones, on PCs, it's on mobiles. So we need to start kind of like embracing this new kind of broadcast landscape, especially if you're going to reach that core audience which is growing, who are light TV viewers. Have you got any questions about the research? Not yet? Okay. I'll hand over to Sandra to talk to you about best practice.
There are 3 big players in the digital video marketplace. They are the consumers who watch it, the publishers who distribute it, and the advertisers who pay for it. With digital video in its infancy, all 3 parties are still working out a set of guidelines to ensure that the balance and to ensure that everybody's getting what they need from the experience. So to ensure that we have a standard practice across our agency, what we've done at Icon is put together a set of standard guidelines to help planning and the trading teams across Icon. We've used our past learning from our own campaigns and global research from overseas to really put together this set of guidelines. There are 10 of them in total, but what I'm going to share with you is 7 of them today, what I call the 7 steps to digital video heaven. The first one really is around targeting and using data to buy granular segments. Gone are the days of super cool ads where you need to buy a mass TV spot to reach large audiences at scale. The beauty of digital is that you can use data to create granular segments and create relevant advertising to speak to each and every single one of them. So what we really need to do is to understand how we can create relevant message understanding to each of these audiences so that we can have more conversations but to a more engaged audience. The second one's really about, sorry about the numbers, they're not in order. The second one really is about TV and digital together. A lot of times we get asked whether it's TV versus online video, but we don't think that it's about them working in silos, they're them about working in combination. What this graph shows you is that when TV and digital video work together, you can see there's a higher increase in brand recall and message recall. So it's not a matter of TV versus online, it's how they can work together to give you the best brand results. The next one's all about understanding the marketplace. There are 4 main parts where you can buy from a digital video market. Usually agencies use a combination of all 4 to reach client objectives. The first ones are our catch-up TV and long-form video. So we talk about the likes of Yahoo 7 and 9MS and their fixed play, where it's probably the easiest place to start to move a client from traditional TV spend to a digital video spend because you can align it with your TV spot schedule. However, the reality of it is that it's expensive because there's not much inventory out there. The second one is all around premium short-form content, where it's the likes of your FactFaxes and your 9MS and your news digitals around news, lifestyle, entertainment, and traditional areas. But like the above, what you find is that there's not much inventory out there, so therefore it's fairly expensive to get into the market to start off. And then you go into your ad networks, which are your likes of TVNs, where you have the ability to using data available to us to do granular targeting and really create granular segments to start to create relevant advertising for consumers. It's a cost-efficient way to reach audiences at mass, but what it also gives us with networks like TVN is it allows to give, it gives us really innovative video formats that the traditional publishers don't give us. And the next one is what we call the video ad exchanges. This is fairly new in the video market space. But if you think about it like Wall Street and how traders trade on Wall Street, this is a dynamic real-time biddable auction where you decide how much you want to pay for each and every digital video impression. It's totally site transparent, so it's also very cost efficient from a TV trading point of view. But the downside to it, I suppose, is you need agency resource to manage a biddable platform. The next one is know where your ad's going. This is Site Media 101. Firstly, make sure you buy from publishers that give you a full site transparent list so you know exactly where your ads are running. Use preemptive tools so that you know that what's been booked and what's been planned is actually what ran. And make sure you run ad verification at the end of the campaign so you know exactly what you've been booked is what's been delivered. It's just to make sure that you know that what you plan is what you book, so you get a complete site list if you know where your ads actually run. The second last one is frequency capping. So frequency capping is extremely important when it comes to digital video. There are numerous research studies that basically show that overexposure to digital video ads show a decrease in brand health metrics. So frequency capping is absolutely essential. There's nothing gets more annoying than seeing 4 or 5 digital video ads in a row on the same session. Nothing gets more annoying than that. We've recently done a visual study for TVN, one of our clients across the agency, and what you can see is that at the difference between 2 exposures to 4 exposures, there's a 23% increase in purchase intent. And frequency capping is different for each client and also each vertical, so it's important to test and learn to understand where the common ground is, where the sweet spot is. But as a general point of view, if you start at 3, and then you can work upwards or below based on your client's results. The last one is around all video going through an ad server. From April the 1st, ICON made a stance in trade press and said it will only work for publishers who are VAST compliant. What this means is that all digital video ads can be tracked through an ad server, whether you use MediaMind, DoubleClick, or Atlas. What it enables us to do is get 100% transparency across all reporting metrics across a whole media plan. So you can understand the duplication in reach numbers, in completion rates, and engagement numbers. So just make sure all of your ads are being accessed through an ad server is extremely important. The next evolution to this is ePaid, which we hope that by this time next year the industry will move towards that. The last one is get KPIs right. We all know that in digital you can measure anything and everything that you want to. However, we think it's very important that we identify key metrics and stay focused on these KPIs from the start to the finish of the campaign. We need to go beyond traditional TV metrics of reach and frequency. We need to start to look at engagement metrics. And engagement metrics in digital video cover the likes of interaction rates, completion rates, the share factor, the dwell time. These are the things that we need to start to look at from a digital video point of view. The most overused digital video metric for digital video at the moment is click-through rate, and it's absolutely my pet hate. Click-through rate is not a reflection of ad effectiveness or brand awareness. If websites visits were really that important and it was your main KPI, then you know that the consumer journey is to be exposed to a digital video ad and not to click straight away, but to go to Google to search on it. So click-through rate is not the right metric for digital video, so we just need to get that metrics right up front with the client and then stay focused on it throughout the campaign period. So just as a recap for the 7 points of digital video heaven, we talk about remember targeting, remember to use data to create granular segmentation for your audiences. We know that it's not TV versus digital video, it's how both of them can work better together. Understand the marketplace, know what you're buying and how you want to buy them. Know where your ads are running, frequency cap, and make sure all video goes through an ad server and also send out KPIs straight right from the beginning. What we want to share with you now is some digital video formats and innovation that we've seen across TVN, but also what we've done across ICON over the last 12 months. I think we've got a video.
I can actually
Hey guys, we're going to, I'm so sorry, but I think something happened. You know how shit happens? I think something happened when we were switching over the computers and stuff, and it just doesn't want to play. So I'm so sorry for these guys, but we will post it on the website, right?
Yes.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's cool. So Sarah will send it out and we'll post it later on. This is what we call hotspotting. It's I don't know if anyone's seen this before. It's an interactive overlay that overlays a 30-second video. And what it does is that it allows people to find more detail about the content of the ad. So it allows product discovery, but also enables users to click straight through to buy the dress they want to. This is an interactive video format that we've done too.